The Golden State Warriors are once again caught in the middle of a major trade discussion, and this time, the name in question could change everything about their future. Lauri Markkanen, the all-star forward from the Utah Jazz, is reportedly available on the trade market again. And as soon as that news dropped, it didn't take long for the Warriors' name to resurface in the rumor mill. According to Sports Illustrated's Chris Mannix, the Jazz are open for business. That means teams looking for an elite scoring forward are circling, and Golden State is one of them. The Warriors already made a strong push to trade for Markkanen during the 2024 offseason, but Utah held firm at the time, refusing to part with their franchise centerpiece. Now, with the Jazz exploring new directions, there's a renewed chance for the Warriors, but at a potentially massive cost. Let's be clear, Markkanen isn't just any player. The 2023 All-Star is one of the most skilled and efficient defensive forwards in the league today. Standing at 7 feet tall, he can stretch the floor, score at all three levels, and fits perfectly into the kind of spacing and ball movement system that Golden State thrives on. For the Warriors, the idea of pairing Markkanen with Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler is incredibly tempting. However, as NBA insider Jake Fisher recently pointed out, there's one big problem: the money. Markkanen's new contract is massive, $46.4 million this season, and Golden State's salary cap situation is already one of the tightest in the league. Fisher said that the Warriors don't really seem to have the contracts or the juice to get a deal done in this new post-Jimmy Butler era. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means something difficult would have to happen. And that's where things get uncomfortable. To make a deal for Lauri Markkanen work financially, the Warriors would likely need to trade Draymond Green. Yes, that Draymond Green, the emotional leader, defensive anchor, and one of the main pillars of the Warriors dynasty. It's a move that no one in Golden State would make lightly, but it might be the only realistic path to bringing Markkanen to the Bay. The idea of trading Green feels almost unthinkable for fans who have watched him grow alongside Curry and Klay Thompson for over a decade. He's the voice of the locker room, the soul of the defense, and a player who has defined an entire era of Warriors basketball. But basketball, especially in today's business-driven NBA, can be cruel. And for a front office that's trying to extend its championship window, sentimentality sometimes takes a back seat to strategy. From a pure basketball standpoint, this trade could make sense. The Warriors' offense has slowed down in recent years, and adding a 7-foot forward who shoots over 40% from three-point range could open the floor like never before. Picture this: Stephen Curry running a pick-and-pop with Markkanen, Jimmy Butler cutting to the rim, and shooters like Buddy Hield and Seth Curry spacing the corners. That's a nightmare for any defense in the league. But then, of course, there's the other side of the coin: defense. Draymond Green is one of the smartest, most versatile defenders in NBA history. His communication, his ability to switch across 5 positions, and his defensive leadership are what make Golden State's system work. Without him, the team risks losing its identity on that end of the floor. So the question becomes, is it worth it? If the Warriors want to stay competitive right now, maybe not. But if they're thinking about the next 3 or 4 years, especially with Curry now in his mid-30s, then adding a younger all-star like Markkanen could help bridge the gap between eras. It could be the move that transitions Golden State from the Steph, Klay, and Draymond generation to a new core centered around Curry, Butler, and Markkanen. According to ESPN's preseason player rankings, Markkanen came in at number 43, while Green was ranked 51st. That shows how close their value is, but also how different they are as players. Green's impact is mostly defensive and emotional, while Markkanen brings pure offensive production and scoring consistency. One fits the Warriors' history, the other might define their future. Financially, it's complicated. Markkanen recently signed a 4-year, $195.9 million contract. That means the Warriors would need to include major salaries, and possibly more players like Jonathan Kuminga or Moses Moody, to make the numbers work. It could even take a multi-team trade to get it done. Without Green's contract, matching Markkanen's salary is nearly impossible under the league's current cap rules. There's also the question of fit. Would Markkanen thrive in Golden State's fast-paced, read-and-react offense? Probably yes. He's already proven he can play off the ball, stretch the floor, and adapt to motion-heavy systems. But could the Warriors survive defensively without Green? That's much less certain. And for Draymond, being traded would mark the end of one of the greatest eras in NBA history. 4 championships, countless iconic moments, and a defensive legacy that helped shape a dynasty. Trading him would be a business move, but it would also be a deeply emotional one, not just for the team, but for fans who grew up watching him anchor this franchise. Still, these are the kinds of choices that championship teams eventually have to face. Dynasties don't last forever. Players age, contracts get heavy, and new stars emerge. The Warriors front office has to decide whether it wants to keep the old core intact and hope for one more run, or retool now while they still have Curry playing at an elite level. If they do decide to pull the trigger, the payoff could be huge. Lauri Markkanen's shooting, size, and scoring ability could give Golden State a completely new identity, one built around offense, speed, and